Hey guys, and welcome back to the series. I got a lot done this episode, so I hope you're as excited as I am to get started. Make sure to subscribe so you know when the next one comes out. We jump back in on day 32, getting ready to move out to our new base. I grab the digiminer and start hooking up the new energy cables from the gas generator to our new base. The base will be right beside the generator and melon farm. I think it's pretty nice to be able to see the melon farm from inside the base. I set up the cables along the soon-to-be walls so all my machines can be placed right along the wall. This will be the rough outline for the walls of the house. After I set the cables up, I plopped down the miner and got it hooked to my smelter. The rest of day 32 was me making upgrades now that I have plenty of power, and also making a bunch of useful stuff for later. Day 33, I wanted to be able to see my generator and how it's doing while still in the base, so I set up a small hallway that takes me to the generator. Here's the generator, and now I have easy access so I can look at the generator whenever I need to. I then finished up the walls, but decided to change it a bit later. I decided I also wanted to see how many melons I had in stock at any given time, so I placed the melon bin beside the generator hallway. I then got everything hooked back together. This transport tube is coming from the farm, and this transport tube is going into the crusher. I got the melons transporting again, and finally, I patched everything back up. I then went to finish the walls for the house. I kept hearing mobs below me in the cave from day 1 that I covered up, so I decided to kill whatever was down there. I did not expect the sheer amount of them though, and got worried for a second. Thankfully they were dealt with easily, and I torched up the place after. I finished the walls just as day 33 was ending. Day 34, I went straight to building the roof, then the floor. Fell into the cave again, so I filled it up just a tiny bit, and once that was done, I kept digging. Had to make a recharge pit stop, then finish digging up the floor. I decided to move the cables back one so it's along the wall. I then finished the flooring with diorite. Here's how the final product looks. I forgot to record day 35 when I moved all my machines, but here's the tour on day 36. I added a bunch of bins for storing ores on the left side along the wall. The ores are automatically transferred to these bins from the smelter. All it is transfer pipes connected from the smelter to the bins. Starting from the left, we have the steel smelter, which also is connected to the bins. And past the smelter, we have the enrichment chamber, the osmium compressor, and the crusher. Just miscellaneous machines. Around the corner, we have our 3 infusers. They each have something different in them. Here we have diamond, then obsidian, then redstone. Lastly, I have an extra smelter for non-ore items, such as my glass I'm currently smelting. Before the end of day 36, I built an anchor mod for my digiminer, which allows the machine to keep working even though I'm not in the chunk. Day 37, I decided to make an ultimate energy cube. We have too much energy generation, so might as well store some of it. I will also need these to be used as batteries for when I use the digiminer elsewhere off the energy grid. These get a bit expensive, but I have the resources for them. While working on crafting them, pillagers came to see my new base. I slaughtered them once again. You too, buddy, I see you. You're going down. Afterwards, I crafted my first ultimate cube, and started charging it. I decided I wanted another ultimate cube, so I made another. It didn't take that long to make, and after I made it, it went straight to charging. On day 38, I made a sorting chest for ores I have on hand, so I don't need to put ores back into each individual bin myself. I'm not lazy, you're lazy. I still had way too much energy, so it was time to build an induction cell to store more energy. First I need lithium though, which means I need to build a thermal evaporation unit. I cleared up some land, then built the components I needed. First off, I need a lot of thermal evaporation blocks. They make up the majority of the unit. I then made some valves to transfer stuff into the unit and out. Then finally made a control unit so I can see all the information I need once it's built. Originally, I wanted to build it 5x5, but no matter what I tried, I couldn't get the thermal evaporation chamber to work. I tried a bunch of stuff, but turns out it has to be 4x4. So day 39, I finally get the first one set up and running. Now I need heat of some sort. So I made a resistive heater, which turns energy into heat. I placed it beside a valve and connected the heater's energy. I connected the wiring with the gas generator, ran all the cable back to the resistive heater, and plugged it in. The temperature was going up, so that works good. I increased the energy input and let it sit. Now I need water. Water is turned into brine in this big rectangle, so on day 40, I made a water pump and connected that to the back of the thermal evaporation unit. As you can see, the right side is full of brine now. I then started on the second evaporation chamber. This one turns brine into liquid lithium, which means we are almost at lithium dust. On day 41, I came back with more thermal evaporation blocks and finished the build. I added a water tank in the middle to store some excess brine. I added pipes and gave it the suck. Now brine is transported into the tank. Looking back, I probably didn't need the tank, but it's whatever. I connected the other unit to the tank as well with a valve so that all the brine can be transferred from the tank into the second unit. I used the configurator to give the pipes another suck, and now brine was in the second chamber, ready to be made into liquid lithium. I made another resistive heater for the second unit, hooked power to it, and watched as liquid lithium was made. I now need a rotary condensator to turn liquid lithium into just lithium, which is a gas. I connect a valve with the condensator and then turn it on. Day 42, I made a chemical crystallizer to turn lithium into dust, but for the longest time I couldn't get the lithium into the crystallizer. I tried pipes in different places, I tried messing with the input and output config, I tried a lot of things, but turns out I had the directions for the condensator wrong. Front was not where I thought it was. I took another look at the config and got the right outputs this time. Now, lithium was being transported into the crystallizer and I was getting lithium dust. All that is happening here is that lithium, the gas, is being made into the dust. I made a chest for the dust to gather in, then built a wall around the whole area. This whole area will be part of the inside of my base. The two tanks though won't actually be inside of the base. I then made a wall and kind of a small room in the middle for the brine tank. Finally, I added the roof, and that was all for day 42. Day 43, I left my base area to put down my digiminer somewhere a little further away from the base, as I've mined everything below my base. I added the 2 ultimate energy cubes to power the digiminer, making sure to get the right inputs and outputs, then let it run. I made a small dirt tower so I know where my digiminer is the next time I come back, just in case I forget somehow. I jumped down and actually took a lot of damage. Whoops. To end off day 43, I mined a bunch of fluorite I had that the miner dug. It was quite satisfying and I got a lot of XP. And I mean a lot. Look at all of it just chase me around like wow. Nom 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 nom. After grabbing all the XP, I put all the fluorite in the last bin that I had. It was finally time for bed, and that marks the end of day 43. That will be all for episode 3 of 100 Days in Mechanism. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one.